Okay, so welcome. Officially, good, really good chat there. I think that's
Yeah,
prepared us nicely
interesting.
for today's session, which in which we're going to look at today's quote, and there's a new insert we haven't looked at. We're supposed to read before the lesson for the day, so we'll look at that. That's on what is the body. And then that'll lead us nicely into today's workbook lesson. Okay, so let's go into that. Share my screen with you. Okay, so if you can read the quote.
One must be a sea to receive a polluted stream without becoming impure.
Friedrich Nietzsche.
Mm.
Who's quite a famous German philosopher. He was also a cultural critic and philologist. He uses an analogy of the sea receiving a polluted stream to point us to the expanse of awareness within us that is completely unaffected by any spiritual pollutants, remaining pure no matter what toxic inputs it may receive from the environment, right? Because the ocean is so vast that the dirty river really doesn't touch it. That's the idea. So your true being is so vast, so pure that none of the apparent impurities of the world can really affect it. And where the impurity then is brought into the sea, the ocean, that's where forgiveness happens. That entry point is what radical forgiveness or letting go is really about. So instead of allowing this stream to pollute your mind, you let it go, you drop it, and you restore your mind to the awareness of this expansive, pure sea of being that you really are. So it's another perspective on radical forgiveness or letting go really means. And today's lesson helps us to contemplate that. So if you want to read, I think let's do the lesson first, and then we'll do the
insert.
In what is the body.
Yeah.
So if you read that in the original alternative.
My holy vision sees all things as pure. My innocent vision perceives everyone and everything as pure.
Yeah, so the alternative really holy is a difficult word. I think a lot of people don't really know what holy means, so we translate it as innocent. So let's go into the rest of the lesson, shall we? So you want to read, shall I read the original? You read the alternative.
Yeah.
Father, your mind created all that is. Your spirit entered into it. Your love gave life to it.
My source, your mind extends all that is. Your spirit entered into it, and your love gave life to it.
And would I look upon what you created as if it could be made sinful?
And do I really want to perceive what you extend as if it could be made sinful?
I would not perceive such dark and fearful images.
I do not choose to perceive such negative and fearful images.
The madman's dream is hardly fit to be my choice, instead of all the loveliness with which you blessed creation, all its purity, its joy, and its eternal quiet home in you.
A madman's dream is hardly fit to be my choice, instead of all the loveliness with which you blessed your extension in all its purity, joy and eternal, quiet home in you. On the top, my source, your mind extends all that is. Your spirit entered into it, and your love gave life to it. And do I really want to perceive what you extend, as if it could be made sinful? I do not choose to perceive such negative and fearful images. The madman's dream is hardly fit to be my choice instead of all the loveliness with which you blessed your extension and all its purity, joy and eternal, quiet home in you.
So what's he saying in that one?
Well, it's talking about our source and how the mind extends all that is. And we don't choose to see these negative and fearful images. And it's saying about the madman's dream is just not fit to be a choice instead of all the loveliness that could be, when you could choose purity, joy, quiet, just that pure being. That's your choice. So
change that. So you'll translate spirit as pure formless awareness, which makes it again more accessible, I think. Spirit, okay, so what is that actually? Pure formless awareness. Okay, it's just an awareness. It's my own awareness. When I'm in a state of pure formless awareness, then I'm one with God. It's as simple as that. So it makes it very practical and experiential. Your pure formless awareness entered into it, and your love gave life to it. But all capitalized. Awareness, pure formless awareness, love, life, because it's all in the same order. It's all level one. The absolute nature of reality is being pointed to here. So do I really want to perceive that there's something else going on? The negative and fearful images that I've projected from this insane, he's telling us this is insane. A madman's dream. It's hardly fit to be my choice instead of all the loveliness with which you blessed your extension. All its purity, joy, and eternal quiet home in you. Why would you choose all this chaos and madness when you have this pure awareness in you that you can access and you can choose right now? It doesn't make any sense. The choice for the madness doesn't make any sense in the face of the truth, does it?
no.
That choice, you start to see that it is just an insane choice. So you continue to believe in this madness. Okay, so let's go on to number 2, paragraph 2. And while we still remain outside the gate of heaven, let us look on all we see through holy vision and the eyes of Christ.
And while I still remain outside the state of pure formless awareness, I will perceive everyone and everything with innocent vision and the eyes of my true self.
Let all appearances seem pure to us, that we may pass them by in innocence and walk together to our Father's house as brothers and the holy sons of God.
I will let all appearances be pure to me, so that I may overlook them in innocence and walk together with my companions to our source's reality as true companions and the innocent extensions of perfect love.
Okay, and from the top.
And while I still remain outside the state of pure formless awareness, I will perceive everyone and everything with innocent vision and the eyes of my true self. I will let all appearances be pure to me, so that I may overlook them in innocence and walk together with my companions to our source's reality as true companions and the innocent extension of perfect love.
Okay, thoughts on
Um,
that?
we're just saying that while I still remain outside the state of pure formless awareness, I will perceive everyone and everything with innocent vision. While I'm outside, does it not mean while we're in it? And while I remain outside.
Yeah, while I remain separated from is what he's really saying. Maybe you can
Yeah, right.
remain separated from the state of pure formless awareness, or just out of the state of, instead of out. While I remain out of the state of pure formless awareness, because that's all it is. It's a state of mind.
Yeah, yeah.
When I'm in
And
a
so
in
we
a
were,
state of mind that's not pure formless awareness, then I will perceive everyone and everything with innocent vision in the eyes of my true self. So again, we're talking about the levels of the course. Let's have a look at Holy Trinity diagram quickly. Again, where are we? So it's saying while you're not at level one, pure formless awareness of perfect love, and you're still seemingly in the world, still got sense perceptions going on. How do you know you're in the world? Well, you have a body. Apparently, you have sense perceptions going on. And so now you're dealing with level two. What's going on, in the world? Saying, well, while that's happening, you're not in the state of pure formless awareness. What you can do is this: perceive everyone and everything with innocent vision in the eyes of my true self. So the true self, or the Christ, then has the innocent vision or perception of the Holy Spirit that knows that everyone is really one and the same.
so while I'm walking along the streets, rather than sort of thinking, oh God, this is messy, all I can see is just this vision of Christ's vision, each and every
Yeah.
person that I'm passing.
So you see rubbish on the street, instead of going, oh, this is terrible, and why
Messy
do
and
people
yeah,
do this? Messy, and like why are people so unconscious and uncaring? They just chuck their litter away, and then you kind of you're separate from those people, aren't you? You're judging them, damning them in your mind. And we do that. If you're not aware, you can do that many, many times a day, these thoughts
yeah,
that come. So, the true self, the Christ, doesn't see that. The true self just overlooks all that because it knows it's illusion. And it
yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
make a story about it. It doesn't go, oh, this, everyone is so
Well,
unconscious, and they
yeah,
put their
I
little.
think mine is more just like I say,
Mhm.
sometimes if I'm walking around and there's people, I just think, oh, the people are very unfriendly in Spain. They're like the Gestapo, they're like robots. So that's me judging them
Mm.
because I keep thinking, well,
Yeah,
very friendly in
yeah,
England and this, the
yeah.
nursing staff there or the police, just such a different
Mm.
ball game. And here they're
Mm.
different, and I'm judging. So there's a
Yeah,
perfect example.
that's an example. Yeah. And so then your perception is not Christ's vision. Your
No, I'm
perception
thinking
there
they're
is
friendly.
the ego's perception of, oh, okay, there's an error here, and I'm making the error real by judging it in these people as real, saying, this is really happening, and everyone's so unfriendly here, and then I'm creating separation because they are now separate
Yeah.
from me because Spanish people are unfriendly. So then I'm separate from those I'm judging, and that's
Well,
what
I
the.
don't think I'm meaning just some, not all. I mean, there's some very nice, friendly Spanish,
It
but
doesn't matter. See, it doesn't
yeah,
matter.
yeah, 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 yeah. No, I get you.
The one exception you make, you judge anyone. Oh, that person's unfriendly. Well, what have you done? You've just separated yourself from them.
Of
You've
course.
made the ego real. You've made the illusion real. You've justified that in your mind through your judgment, and you're out of now alignment with your true self. And pure formless awareness of perfect love is even further away
Mm.
from you. So that's what the ego is insidiously always trying to get you to do. Judge it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'm
Judge
still,
it as real. That
yeah.
makes it
So,
real. And you get caught up in level two, in the self-concept that you've invented, just running
mm-hmm.
around in here trying to fix the world, trying to make the world meet your expectations and
Yeah.
get some happiness within the world. And of course you fail time and time again
Yeah.
because the world was
Of
not
course.
designed to do that. The
Mm-hmm.
world was designed to trigger you and make you unhappy. So don't expect it to be otherwise. Just see it for what it is. That's Christ's vision. So that's the practice. Wherever you are, that you can always see the ego if you want. The world was projected by the ego. The ego is entrenched in the world. So you can focus on that perception if you want to, but that's not going to get you anywhere. That's just going to get you more misery, pain, suffering, and death. He's suggesting now that the only way out is to change your perception so that you don't have those experiences. The sin, the guilt, the fear, misery, pain, sickness, death, all of these things are not needed anymore. Because in true perception, why would you need any of those? If you're perfectly whole, complete,
Mm-hmm.
why would you need any of them? The answer is you wouldn't. So yeah, I mean, this is very practical. Some people, can accuse the course of being too highfalutin and too theoretical.
Mm.
But when he says, I see everything with innocent vision in the eyes of my true self, he means that your moment by moment perception is non-judgmental. You're not judging and condemning anyone or anything, saying, "Oh, that's bad," and
Mm-hmm.
then you project your condemnation onto that person because you'll never
Mm-hmm.
get free that way.
Yeah. So that's one of my things I need to work on it. Yeah. I'm still sort of subtly underneath judging.
Hmm.
I'm
Yeah.
trying
So when
not
you
to.
catch that, your practice is going to be, okay, watch it like a hawk. Watch your mind, catch it.
Yes.
Oh, you notice the thought, the awareness that you've cultivated through your spiritual practice and your meditation goes, that's not right, Elaine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Just
Because
judged. Okay, I've caught it. Then you can correct it. So, okay, I'm going to let that go. Instead of thinking that thought and then automatically you think a thought
yeah,
like that, what happens?
then
You
everybody's
contract.
unfriendly. And it's not just
Well,
one. It's,
you contract on an emotional level automatically. You can feel
mm-hmm.
that, kind of hardness coming in. Oh, now I'm on my guard, because this
There's
person
another one
is
who's unfriendly. Yeah.
And so I put up a bit of a wall and a barrier, and like these are the defenses that keep me
Yes.
separate from people because the ego is telling you got to do that because you can't trust these people
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
they're all very unfriendly.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
of course, the more that becomes a program that you're programming them, the exterior world, to
Mm-hmm.
match your frequency, your
Yes. Mm-hmm.
expectation, create reality.
Yeah.
And so then so it is. You've thought that, you feared it, and then it happens, and then your ego says, "Yep, look, I was right."
They're unfriendly.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's unfriendly, and so you better even be more on your guard because maybe it's just not just a few people. Maybe there's many people who are unfriendly, and then it seeks to progress that in your mind. So you got to be really, really watchful, vigilant of it, and just be willing to be willing to let it go as it arises. That's the whole practice.
Well, it's like that man you bumped into yesterday when you were doing your exercises. He obviously had that similar mind state, you know,
Exactly.
so it's something
Hmm.
that's in our ego, isn't it? It's
Hmm.
to be disciplined.
He was
Yeah.
looking for something to upset him.
Mm-hmm.
So, oh, someone's there in front of my property. this isn't acceptable. They're not being considerate. I have to go and do something. I have to go outside and say something because then I'll restore some kind of peace of mind. This is what his ego tells him.
Well, I must admit, I haven't got the bottle to do
Practicing
that.
non-judgment, he would have gone, okay, well, just let it go. Just
Yeah.
let it be. You'll move off at some stage. And I don't have to look out the window and let it bother me. I can just get on with something in the house.
Well, he's taken it
And
one
when
step
I can
further.
go on.
Yeah, because
Mhm.
a lot of us might, he's taken it one step further because a lot of us might think these thoughts like, oh, that's a bit irritating having somebody exercising or doing whatever, like with Dave, he doesn't like people putting the car in front. But you might
Yeah.
think it, but the next step that makes it even worse is if they come out and actually speak it out loud, or are they both
Yeah.
equal? Are they both equal?
Yeah.
You know,
Well, I mean, it's the same delusion. If you're sitting in your living room and you don't say anything, but you're stewing, you're going, oh, I'm really,
annoyed
feeling
about
quite
that
resentful
car outside,
towards this
whatever.
person. There's no order of difficulty in miracles because there's no hierarchy of illusions. It's the same delusion.
Hmm.
But what the ego does by making you act on it is it makes it more real, makes it
Hmm.
stronger and more real. So
Hmm.
then he acts on it. And now he's acted on it. Now that's become his reality. Okay. Again, and probably it's not the first time. Again, someone has, so-called violated my view. Again, it's probably happened before. Okay. So then he reinforces the pattern. You see how it works.
Hmm.
And then that pattern is perpetuated. And so next time it happens, which it's likely to, because that's now
Of
what he's
course.
actually asking humans for. He'll react the same way. Okay, now I'm going to get even crosser and angrier
Hmm. Hmm.
because it just keeps
Yeah.
happening,
Yeah, and
and
it just
then the
reinforces
pattern
it,
gets
gets stronger and stronger. Yeah, no, I get that.
until it's made like major. Now he's getting really very very angry with anyone who
Which
spends
was
any more time than they need to outside his doors. And I can almost guarantee you that more people will, because that's
mm-hmm,
what he's asking for
mm,
by reacting. So the prayer of the mind is really what are your thoughts and what are your feelings? That's what you're asking for.
mm.
And then
It's
that goes
amazing
into the
how
matrix. It
some,
gets programmed for
yeah,
that to happen. Why did I stop there? I don't know. I was like I thought, okay, well, I'll do a couple of step ups and then, I've just got a couple of other things to do next to it. And I didn't for any moment think that someone in the house would be offended by that. Why would they be? I'm just on a
no,
public footpath doing a few
yeah,
exercises.
yeah.
But in his mind, it's like, oh no, no, this is really offensive. You're not being considerate. I'm like, okay, well, I didn't
Strange,
think
isn't it?
about that. But
It
I will move, no problem. I'm just pushing an open door. I'm not attached to doing exercises here particularly. I can go somewhere else.
but
Um,
we see it time and time again, don't we? I mean, it's like Lindsay, a friend who I do a little bit of cat work with. I mean, I'm still a bit involved. And there's a lady who's just found two kittens, and she insists that it's not Lindsay. She's decided she's got a vendetta against Lindsay over the most innocuous thing, but she seems to have built it out of all proportion. And now
mm,
Lindsay's now the enemy over literally something stupid. And
yeah.
she's built Lindsay now to be a monster. So
Mm,
it's just crackers when it was just some incident where
yeah.
there was a situation, and obviously the woman wasn't happy, but she's
Mm,
built Lindsay into be this monster, and yet it was just
mm,
a situation that was obviously not pleasing to the woman, but it didn't
mm.
warrant her
It's a
being,
disagreement, but just let it go. Move
yeah,
on.
but she's not prepared to let it go. And I said to
Yeah.
Lindsay, but you've got to let bygones be bygones. There's two kittens that need their lives saving. Surely
Mm,
you can put your whatever to one side and just, and even Lindsay
mm,
said, no, I'm not contacting. And I said, oh, well, that's up to you.
mm,
She says, I'll wait until she contacts me. So I
mm,
said, what, you're going to let the kittens die? Because the
mm,
two of you won't let bygones be bygones.
mm.
But this is how
Yeah,
mad
well,
the ego is.
people would rather die themselves or let something else die than give up their self-concept. That's the delusion of the ego.
Well, Lindsay's,
I'd
it's,
rather go to my death than
yeah, she
let go of
won't
this.
let go. No, she says she's got to see, she's
Yeah,
got to contact her. No way, she said,
yeah.
not contacting this woman. She's got to contact me.
Hmm.
So I thought, oh, I'm keeping out of this, keeping out of it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, your only job is just to observe it and let go. It's okay.
Yeah,
Well,
but
see,
there's an
see
example,
the confusion,
a bit
see
like
the
this.
madness of ego and all
Yeah,
this.
well, a
It's
bit
just
like
great.
this chap with your exercising. It's all just a bit
Yeah.
mad over just
You know,
innocuous situations that are
yeah.
meaningless.
Creating so much drama over nothing. Like, why?
Yeah,
Why not just
exactly. It's nothing.
peaceful and happy? But the ego can't stand peace and happiness. It has to have drama
Mm,
because that's what gives it an identity. So that's why
bizarre.
the world is drama and full of things that trigger you because that's the way it's set up
Yeah.
to maintain this self-concept. When you understand that, then you're not going to fall for its tricks anymore. You're not going to do
Mm,
it anymore. You're like, okay, I'm being played for a fiddle here by
mm.
the ego. It's just using my mind to create, endless drama and unhappiness.
It does. It
And
does.
I'm the one who loses. Who lost that encounter? I didn't. I just ran off.
Yeah.
Wasn't bothered at all. He probably sat stewing for the next half an hour and probably went back in
Lingering
home,
on.
back
Yeah.
into his house and complained to his family and said, I can't believe people are so inconsiderate. They just yada yada
You could,
yada 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 yada. And then it's all of that is just separating him from his source. He is
but it's
condemning himself to be a
innocuous. But these like
oh,
innocuous situations, he could actually decide that you're the enemy. This is how silly these things get. Like there with
yeah.
Lindsay and the other lady's called Steph.
Well, that's how he's behaving. He was very aggressive and hostile.
So
And I
you could
just
end
said
up,
it's one thing, like, oh, no, 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 we can't have that. I just said, look, it is a public right of way, which
yeah,
is true. You're allowed to do whatever you want, within reason, obviously, in public right of way,
yeah,
but I'm
yeah.
not breaking any laws or anything. So there's nothing saying I can't do exercises on a public right of way
No,
at
no.
all. I'm quite entitled to
It's
do
just
that. So
it's just doesn't warrant. Yeah, and it's a similar
but I
situation.
just, I think what really annoyed him was I just ran off. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to
Mm,
engage in this. He wanted an argument. He wanted me to stand having a slanging match with him over the fence.
because they want the
And I'm like,
drama.
okay, whatever. I'm just bye then. I'm running off. Bye.
It
I'm not
is
going to engage.
bizarre. It is
This,
bizarre. Yeah, but it happens numerous times in life. You see it every day, don't you? With these
yeah,
fallouts, you can be enemies with a neighbor over the most ridiculous things.
yeah.
It's just like unbelievable how people fall out over nothing. It's
Mm,
really bizarre.
mm.
It is.
Because that's what their ego wants to do.
Mm.
It wants to fall out with people because that gives it a
Yeah,
separate identity.
especially neighbors.
Uh,
Neighbors are good at falling out with each other. I mean,
oh
my
yeah.
sister's
Well,
always falling out with her neighbors, whether they've
mm,
got too much of their garden space or they've done something, and you think, oh my goodness, does it matter?
mm.
It is.
But to the ego, it matters a lot because the ego has to be right.
Yeah, yeah,
There's a great saying, in the course, do you prefer to be right or happy?
yeah, exactly.
This can't be both. So
Learning to
most
let go.
people right rather than being happy.
Mm,
It's crazy. What a mad choice, but
yeah,
that's the
yeah.
ego for you.
So,
And so you're so busy being right that you're not happy. I mean,
mm,
if you recall this, I mean, from yesterday was absolutely brilliant, recognizing the spirit, and it's right at the end.
mm.
Let's read that again. I mean, this says it all, isn't it?
Oh, this
No,
yesterday, yeah, yeah, yeah.
yesterday's one. I'll find it. Where are we? It was self-concept versus self. That was there. So read that.
Which that number 7. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I do not know what I am, and therefore do not know what I am doing, where I am, or how to perceive the world or myself. Yeah, that's a good reminder.
There's no statement that the world is more afraid to hear than this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because really what it's saying is you're completely clueless. You have no idea who you are. You have no idea how to perceive reality. You don't even know where you are. You think you're in a world, in a body. You know nothing. You're clueless.
Mm-hmm.
And how many people do you know who are willing to entertain that statement? Not many.
No.
Everyone's so convinced they're right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, like your experience yesterday and mine,
Yeah.
messaging from Lindsay, going into this
Mm. Mm.
nonsense. Yeah.
I'm right and someone else is wrong, and I won't budge from that position.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I do, then my separate self is diminished. And I
Yeah. Well,
must defend
neither one of them are
myself
going to budge.
at all costs. Hmm.
Neither one's going to budge. So
No. So they'll probably have a feud for the rest of their life. They'll never speak to each other.
over nothing, something stupid. Yeah.
Yeah. And this kind of thing happens all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Just because people are like, okay, well, like, I'm sorry. It's that simple.
Mm.
I'm sorry. You apologize.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh, just let's move on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry
That's
I made a
basically
mistake.
it.
I accept it. We all make mistakes, and I will do
Move
my
on.
best not to do the same. I
Mm.
apologize.
Yeah.
What can someone really say if you do that?
Well,
You can't
hopefully they
crucify someone who's apologizing.
no, no.
But when someone digs in and they go, no, no, I'm not going to apologize. I'm not going to look at my error. I'm not going to correct it. Then you have a problem. I had that situation in my business. Like, well, if there's no willingness to admit an error, then you can't move forward because there can be no correction of the error. And that's exactly why the ego gets stuck, because it won't honestly look at itself and say, okay, that was not right, and I'll correct it. It
Mm-hmm.
requires the humility to do that. Say, okay, yeah, I was wrong, and I accept that I was wrong, and I just made a mistake, and it's okay. It's because it's just a mistake. It's not a sin. But you see why this letting go is so important. Because if you think it's a sin and you're going to be crucified for it, the ego is telling you this is death. You've just acknowledged death, and whatever you do, you have to avoid that. You can't be the sinful, guilty one. Someone else has to be.
Mm.
So you got to project it onto someone else, and you can't accept the responsibility because the ego says that's death, when actually it's life. It's a letting go, and it's a surrender to the eternal life that lies beyond all of these illusions. So it's very, very, very practical, this course. When you take a
Mm.
lesson like this, if you actually apply it, it's going to completely change your life. You're
Mm.
not going to be reactive anymore. You're going to be able to let things go. You're not going to believe in any of these images, get sucked into any of these dramas. And that makes a huge difference to one's quality and experience of life, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So one lesson like this, if you just apply this lesson, it's life-changing. But it's
Mm.
the application to these situations. And then we need a lot of practice and a lot of training to do that. Because if you've been reacting that way egoically for 60 years, and then suddenly you've got to turn that all around and just let
Mm.
it go and be really humble and surrendered and non-judgmental. It's a major
Mm.
mind training
Major shift.
exercise,
Yeah.
major
Yeah.
shift to do. No.
Mm.
But this is what Yes is saying. Well, if you're not willing to do that, I can't really help you. No one can help you.
Oh, I'm willing to do it, but by goodness, the ego is a real hard taskmaster. It sneaks in wherever it can.
Yeah, but then your job's just to be willing to
Let
keep
it go.
seeing it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Let
Oh, yeah.
it
No,
go.
I can see it.
This
Yes,
was
I
saying
can see.
not that the ego is going to come in and tempt you, but then you
Mm-hmm.
just need to be willing to let it go. What most people
Yeah.
don't acknowledge is even the error. They don't go, oh, okay, I made a mistake here. Why? Because they think that they are the mistake. They are the self-concept that made the mistake. So if they admit they made an error, then that self-concept is an error, you see? And then they will do anything to defend the self-concept. of who they think they are, rather than admit the error.
Mm.
Crazy. And why not just admit the error? You're not, because you're not your self-concept. That's just an illusory construct of the mind.
Mm.
But if you believe you are, then you'll never be able to let go of the error and admit you're wrong. Which is why this mind training is so important. Okay, I'm not the self-concept. If I'm not that, then so what? Say I made a mistake. It was never me. It was just an illusory entity masquerading as me. It wasn't really me. And so I just accept that it was an error and it was false. And I
Mm.
can let it go. And I'm absolved instantly. The moment I let it go, I'm absolved because there is no sin. I'm not judged and condemned for this because that's only in my own mind that I do that. God doesn't judge me. All the Holy Spirit's saying is just let go of the error. So there's not there anymore to block your awareness of love's presence. Simple, easy, straightforward. That's all you have to do. There's no sin and guilt. You're not condemned for any error, even if you've done something on the level of form in the world, as bad as murder someone. Doesn't matter because the moment you've let it go and you return your mind to its true state, then you're free because there is no sin and guilt. Now that's totally alien thinking to the world, isn't it? The ego won't accept that.
Mm.
Oh, no, no, no. You've done this thing and you need to be punished for this. And so you got to go spend your life in prison because, that's how we have to punish you. They used to have the death sentence. Now they don't anymore. But, you have to be punished for this. Well, if you've really let it go, then why do you have to be punished?
Mm.
Oh, because, someone's life was taken, you deprived someone else of life. Well, so does punishing you bring them back? Does it
Mm.
make it any better?
Well, I guess it's for the relatives, isn't it, and the loved ones.
Does it help them in their grief? Does it bring the person back to know
No,
that
no, no.
someone is in prison for life because of that?
As a,
It's ridiculous. It doesn't do anything. If the
mm.
person has genuinely repented and they've let it go, then just let them go. Obviously, so if they still want to murder people, you have to kind of prevent that. So you keep them out of society. You can't just let them run amok and do it again. But if they
Oh, no.
genuinely rehabilitate, then let them go. So, I mean, the way to resolve there's a prison crisis worldwide. There's just not enough space. The way to resolve it is simple. You rehabilitate the criminals and you let them go. Spend the time in there. It's great. They're now, in an institution. You can put them through a process of rehabilitation, mind training, healing, to the point where they're healed, and then have to be an assessment. And it's like, okay, this person I think is ready to re-enter society and be a decent member of society and not do the things they did before. So you let them go then. And then, you don't have overcrowding in the prisons because they're not, condemned to stay there for the rest of their life for 10, 20 years. What they're doing is they're just releasing people early, but there's no rehabilitation, which then is dangerous. Okay, now that they're going to wander around and they've still got that egoic energy and they're going to do it again
Mm.
because they haven't been rehabilitated. Anyway, yeah. So I mean, if you apply these teachings to these practical situations that happen in life, there's always a solution. All of the problems of the world would be solved by this kind of thinking
Mm.
if it was applied. But unfortunately, it's not. It's still very much the outlier. It's not the norm. It's very much the exception to the norm. This kind of thinking. But nevertheless, you can carry on and do it yourself. In the end, you're just awakening yourself. So that becomes your primary focus. All right. So how are we doing? 4 o'clock. You still got some time, Elaine. Can we do my body section? What is the body, or do you just want to do a meditation?
Oh yeah, better just do the meditation because I'm going to be,
Hmm.
yeah, because I've still got this, still on this course.
Yeah. Okay. What is the body tomorrow? Because I don't think we've done
Yeah,
this one.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It's a particularly good one because he's just really asking us to objectively look at what is this body and
Oh,
what
yes.
function does it serve in the ego's purpose, and then, what's the reinterpretation of the body and the Holy Spirit, which is, essential. We must learn to do that. If we think we're a body, then that's a primary delusion. If you're a body, then you can't be pure formless awareness, can you? As he says,
Hmm.
it's the body or the spirit, but you can't do both. All right, so let's do a meditation then on this, shall we?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, so just making yourself comfortable. Your feet shoulder width apart, your back straight. Cup your hands in your lap. Close your eyes. And start off with a nice deep breath in through the nose. So you're breathing in, you're noticing how the stomach rises and the chest rises. Subtle flow of air in through the nostrils. Pausing at the top of the inhale. So just scan your mind, notice whatever's going on there. Any misperceptions, anything that's causing you any kind of upset, drama, unhappiness, lack of peace, irritation, anger, fear, anxiety, jealousy, to outright rage and hatred, to depression, sadness, whatever it is, just observe it. Remind yourself of the simple truth that your holy vision sees all things as pure. Translated, my innocent vision perceives everyone and everything as pure. So breathe in this purity comes from your true being that is unshaken and unmoved by all appearances. And your innocent vision just looks outwards from this corrected mind, from your healed mind. You have innocent vision. And you perceive the world as innocent. No one is condemned. Does that mean you don't see errors? No, you might notice the error, but you correct if you have any judgment of that error, anything that mars the purity that underlies it, then you let it go, which is what he's saying here. My innocent vision perceives everyone and everything as pure. So just exhale. Exhale on the truth of this. It's going, gone. Pull the lower stomach into the spine. Expel the last remaining air out. And just rest in the peace that this innocent vision brings. When you let go of your own anger, your own upset, your own drama, what's left? What remains? Just have a sense of this higher awareness. So now just breathing, nice, deep, slow, rhythmical breaths. In and out through your nose, just observe the breath flowing into your nostrils, subtle sensations as it does that in the nose and the area between your nose and your upper lip. And then you exhale and notice again the subtle sensation of the air flowing out. You just observe the breath. The breath just happens, breathing you. And now listen to these words from the lesson. Say this actually as a prayer. Prayer is just an affirmation of the truth. So, breathe in and listen to the words I speak and then repeat them aloud, ideally, after me. So, my source. Your mind extends all that is. And exhale, speak those words. My source, your mind extends all that is. Breathing in again. Your spirit, or translated to alternative language, pure formless awareness. Or pure formless awareness entered into it. And your love gave life to it. So breathe in this loving awareness, this loving presence. Every pore, every cell, every muscle of your body, every part of your mind, every fiber of your being. Breathing in again. So do I really want to perceive what you extend as if it could be made sinful? Ask yourself that question. Do I really want to perceive God's creation, the extension of perfect love? Do I really want to perceive it as sinful? How could perfect love, pure form source of perfect love, be sinful? And it wouldn't be pure form source of perfect love. Thought that it had done something wrong and it deserved to be punished, it fears that punishment, it projects its guilt out as attack. None of that is pure formless awareness. So it's one or the other. You can't be in the spirit or pure formless awareness and also in the ego. So I do not choose as you breathe in. And I do not choose to perceive such negative and fearful images. Madman's dreams hardly fit to be my choice. Instead of all the loveliness with which you blessed your extension and all its purity, joy, and eternal quiet home in you. Repeat those words. Madman's dreams hardly fit to be my choice. Why would I choose that instead of all the loveliness? All the loveliness that's there with which I have a sense of sinking inwards, watching the breath and sink inwards to the loveliness that these words point to. The loveliness of creation or being, purity, joy, eternal quiet home. Breathing in again. Repeat these words. So while I still say to yourself, and while I still remain out of the state of pure formless awareness, outside the gate of heaven is the vision. It's just a state of mind. I will perceive everyone and everything with innocent vision and the eye. I will let all appearances be pure to me, so that I may overlook them in innocence. Breathing in again. And walk together with my companions to our source's reality. Capital R, as true companions. And so with this invitation, just sink into this state of pure formless awareness. There's nowhere else to go, there's nothing else to do, there's nothing else to think about. Just be purely present. Nowhere else to go, nothing else to do, nothing else to think about. Just breathe, relax, be still. Find this innocent vision, and the true self or Christ lies beyond it. Sink deep into your mind. Just observe your breath to help your mind stay clear and calm and empty and open in the spacious awareness. Sinking inwards, going deeper and deeper with each breath into the still, calm, quiet, peaceful center of awareness. And there's really nowhere else to go, and there's nothing else to do. Just if any thoughts come up and emotions that seemingly disturb this peace, just practice the lesson. Use it for what it's for. Find yourself. So you breathe in that my innocent vision just perceives everyone and everything. So whoever the people, characters in the dream are, sees everyone and everything as pure. So just let go of whatever is impure, whatever is disturbing your peace. And just drop it. And just sink in for another minute or two of deep, peaceful silence into this deep peace that surpasses all understanding. Another couple of minutes of deep silence. Gently coming back from this deep awareness into some awareness of the body and the breath, senses in the world. And on the count of three, you're going to open your eyes. So one, just breathing in. And again, you notice the breath flowing into your nostrils and the stomach rising and the chest rising and the subtle smell perhaps in your nose as you do that. And you pause at the top of the inhale, smile, scan your mind one more time, notice any thoughts, emotions. any related body sensations. If there's anything that doesn't feel good, just remind yourself that your innocent vision perceives everyone and everything as pure. And then just lets it go, blowing it all away. And breathe of your breath. And nothingness it really is. It's gone. Lower stomach into the spine. Expel the last remaining air out. Rest here for a few moments at the bottom of the exhale, and the stillness gap between breaths. This immaculate stillness you can enter into. Just connect with it, experience it. And set the intention to stay here in the stillness. Your only job in life is to restore your mind to the stillness. So just observe sensations of your body now. As you breathe in again, subtle smell perhaps in your nose, taste in your mouth. Notice that. Notice what you're feeling and touching with the body, the weight of your body pressing down into the chair. If you're touching the ground, notice what your hands are feeling. Notice the subtle flow of hair on your skin. It's bringing you back into very gentle awareness of the body. So aware of the subtle body sensations bring you back into awareness of this world in a very gentle way. Notice what you're hearing, surrounding environment. So connect with this stillness and set the intention to stay here. Use the lesson to help you do that, top you up, and go back into the peace that surpasses all understanding. Whenever you need to, short breath breaks, you can listen to any of the recordings I've sent you to do a longer meditation as well. So now when you're ready, open your eyes. So just take a minute to look around, observing what's going on around you. In this very calm, objective way, there's no attachment, nothing's really disturbing this innocence, this purity. Whatever you look at, you notice underlying it is this innocent awareness. This is what the lesson's talking about: innocent vision, Christ vision, innocent awareness, very peaceful, very calm. Everything is pure and holy in that state. Nothing's a problem. So anchor the state in, with the intention to stay up the rest of the afternoon, evening, and on into tomorrow. So it is said, and so it is done. That brings us to the end of the meditation and of the session. So thank you, Elaine, for joining.
Thank you.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
If we could do a sort of 2:30, so would that work?
Yeah. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tuesday, sort of 4:30 would work. Or later if you want, but I know you generally want to wrap it up by 4:30. So yeah.
Yep. That's good. Okay,
Okay.
and another good Zoom. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
Good meeting.
Hmm. Good chat, good session. So thank you. And just keep practicing and stay in flow.
Yeah, will do. Okay. See you tomorrow. Bye. Namaste.
Stay. Bye for now. Okay, so that is a wrap for today. Thank you to Elaine for joining. If you enjoyed that session, a couple of things you can do. Take it forward, subscribe to the channel, and be notified whenever I go live. So you heard there's another session tomorrow, typically 3 or 4 times a week. We go live, so you can get that on live stream or on recordings. If you'd like to get access to these live sessions, then go to lifebuild.com. You see the URL in the background, or the name Lifebuild in the background of this video, or there's a link below the video in the text box. So just click on that, and you can sign up for free to our Telegram group, and you'll get a daily quote. You'll get a lesson from the course from Course in Miracles, some teachings usually around the quote and the lesson that I've written, and also access to the daily lesson with translations in an alternative language, and also the text. So and access to these live sessions, along with some meditations that you can use to practice the lessons. So there's a lot of free content there. Go check it out at lifebuild.com and join us in the Telegram group and on this journey. So I hope you'll do one of those things and to meet you on the inside one of these sessions soon. Namaste. Which means the truth in me acknowledges and honors that same truth in you. And wishing you much love.